Before there was anything, there was water. Imagine a universe not of stars, but of endless, swirling sea. No light, no land, no sky. In this primordial void, the potential for everything lay dormant. From these ancient waters, a myth emerges, the story of Tiamat, the chaos goddess. She was mother, creator, and destroyer, her love and fury shaping the world. Her sacrifice gave birth to earth and sky. This is the legend of Tiamat. In this initial boundless expanse of water, two fundamental forces slowly took form. They were the first beings, the progenitors of all that would follow. There was Apsu, the personification of the fresh, sweet waters that lie deep beneath the earth, and there was Tiamat, the embodiment of the vast, salty, and tumultuous sea. Together they were a perfect yet volatile union. They represented the two essential waters of life, mingling and swirling in the darkness. Their existence was the first great act of separation, the first distinction in a universe that had previously known none. They were the divine parents of everything that was to come. From their union, new life emerged. A new generation of gods was born into the silent cosmos, each one a new and distinct force of nature. These were the gods of the wind, the earth, the sky, and the storm. They were younger, more vibrant, and far more energetic than their placid parents. With their birth, the quiet of the primordial void was shattered forever. They brought noise, movement, and activity into the deep. They laughed, they shouted, they wrestled, and their boisterous energy filled the cosmic space, creating ripples that disturbed the profound stillness that Apsu and Tiamat had known for eons. This new energy became a source of great tension. The young gods were full of life, but their endless clamor began to grate on their father. Apsu, who cherished the silence of his watery domain, grew weary and irritable. He saw their youthful exuberance not as a sign of life, but as a disruptive and disrespectful rebellion against the natural quiet of the universe. The constant noise prevented him from resting, and his patience wore thin. He began to see his own children not with love, but with growing resentment. A dark thought started to form in his mind, a terrible solution to restore his peace. Apsu decided he could no longer tolerate the disturbance. He resolved to destroy his children, to silence their noise and return the universe to its original tranquil state. He confided his plan in Tiamat, expecting her to share his frustration, but Tiamat, the great mother, hesitated. They were her offspring, the fruit of her very being. While their noise may have been disruptive, she could not bring herself to wish them harm. She felt a mother's instinct to protect them, even from their own father. This moment of hesitation created the first great schism, a divide between the primordial parents that would set in motion a chain of betrayal and war. In the beginning there was only water. From it emerged Apsu, god of fresh water, and Tiamat, goddess of salt water, the parents of all creation. Their union birthed new gods, each generation more vibrant and restless than the last. The younger gods filled the cosmos with noise and energy, dancing and shouting, disrupting the ancient silence. For Apsu, this was torment. He longed for the quiet that once was, and resentment began to grow within him. Unable to bear the chaos any longer, Apsu made a terrible decision. He would destroy his children and restore the universe to silence. He took his dreadful plan to Tiamat, expecting her support, but Tiamat recoiled in horror. As a mother, she could not bear the thought of destroying their children. This was the first great division between the primordial parents. The seeds of the first divine war had been sown. The younger gods sensed danger. Among them, Ea, god of wisdom and water, discovered Apsu's deadly plan. Using magic, Ea cast a powerful spell, plunging Apsu into a deep sleep. The gods seized Apsu and Ea killed his own forefather. From Apsu's body, Ea built his temple, marking a new age. But Tiamat's grief would soon turn to fury, shaking the cosmos. Apsu's patience shattered. The noise of his children, once a sign of life, now felt like an assault. He resolved to erase them, restoring the universe to silence. With his vizier Mummu, Apsu plotted in secret an ambush, a total purge. He revealed his plan to Tiamat, expecting her support. "By day I cannot rest, by night I cannot sleep," he lamented. But this was not order, it was annihilation. Apsu's cold logic blinded him. Creation once begun cannot be undone. His desire for stillness was a wish for non-existence. This tragic resolve would not restore peace, but doom him instead. The first betrayal was seeded in the father's heart. Tiamat recoiled at Apsu's plan, her anguish overwhelming. Where Apsu saw chaos, she saw her children. Troublesome, but hers. "How can we destroy what we created?" she demanded. She pleaded for patience, for mercy, for a parent's love. Apsu dismissed her as weak, his resolve hardening. The rift between them grew, order versus life, death versus love. Tiamat was paralyzed, torn between mate and children. Her inaction sealed their fate. The family was broken. Destruction moved forward. Tiamat's grief was only beginning. Apsu's plot was discovered by Ea, god of wisdom. Sensing the threat, Ea chose cunning over confrontation. He cast a spell, plunging Apsu into enchanted sleep. In the abyss, Ea slew his forefather, patricide in silence. He seized Apsu's crown, captured Mumu, and claimed power. The age of the primordial parents ended in blood. The first betrayal was complete. Apsu, the would-be murderer, was murdered. Victory was hollow. Tiamat was left alone, her pleas ignored. Her sorrow would soon turn to rage. The cosmos trembled at the coming storm. Silence fell, but it was the silence of death. Tiamat's grief was vast, her mates slain by their own children. The gods celebrated, blind to the wound they'd inflicted. Her sorrow twisted into rage, fanned by whispers of vengeance. The loving mother became a vengeful dragon. Her form grew monstrous, her heart hardened. She began to plot war, her fury ignited. The cosmos braced for her wrath. If her children chose violence, she would answer in kind. The storm of her vengeance was about to break. Tiamat's rage birthed a new brood. Monsters forged from vengeance. Serpents, lion demons, storm beasts, and hydras swarmed at her command. Her womb became a crucible of terror. These chaos beasts were her new children, loyal only to her. The gods, once triumphant, now faced terror. Tiamat stood as queen of chaos, her army assembled. She was no longer a pleading mother, but a force of destruction. The silence Apsu craved would return through annihilation. The war for the cosmos was about to begin. The gods trembled before her monstrous legion. Among Tiamat's monsters, one stood apart. Kingu, her new consort and champion. She bestowed upon him the Tablet of Destinies, granting supreme authority. With this artifact, Kingu became the new leader of the gods. Tiamat's message was clear: the old order was over. Her personal vendetta became a cosmic war for legitimacy. Her army was ready, her champion anointed. The tablet made Kingu's commands law. The gods faced not just a grieving mother, but a rival queen and king. The balance of power had shifted. The final battle for the universe loomed. News of Tiamat's monstrous army and Kingu's rise sent shockwaves through the divine realms. The gods, once secure, now trembled in fear. Tiamat, wronged and furious, marched with a legion of chaos. Her monsters, scorpion men, dragons, storm demons, were real and unstoppable. Ea, the wise god, tried to confront her, but his magic failed. Anu, king of the gods, lost his courage and fled. The gods, leaderless and terrified, faced certain annihilation. They needed a hero, but none dared face the mother of monsters. In this moment of absolute desperation, a new voice spoke up. It was not one of the elder gods, nor one of the established rulers. It was a young god, a son of Ea, born in the very heart of the abyss that his father had conquered. His name was Marduk. He was a storm god, crackling with energy and power, a being of immense strength and even greater ambition. He was perfect in form, his limbs powerful, his gaze fiery. Unlike the others, he did not see an undefeatable dragon. He saw an opportunity. He saw a path to power that was now wide open for the taking. Marduk watched as his elders trembled in fear, and his confidence grew. He approached the desperate assembly of the gods with a bold proposition. He would face Tiamat. He would be their champion and confront the Chaos army single-handedly, but his help would not come for free. He made his demand clear, his voice ringing with authority in the silent, fearful hall. If he succeeded, if he defeated Tiamat and saved them all from destruction, he would not just be a hero. He demanded to be made king of all gods, his word becoming law, his authority absolute and superseding all others forever. This was an audacious and unprecedented demand. Marduk was asking for supreme sovereignty, a position of power no god had ever held before. He wanted to dismantle the old council structure and establish a monarchy with himself at its head. The gods were taken aback by his sheer nerve. They were being asked to trade their collective freedom for their survival, yet what choice did they have? Annihilation at the hands of Tiamat was a certainty. Marduk's ambitious plan, however risky, offered them a sliver of hope. Their fear was greater than their pride, and their desperation made them willing to consider any price. After a tense deliberation, they agreed. They would grant Marduk the kingship he desired if he could deliver them from Tiamat. They saw the power radiating from him, a vibrant and dynamic force that none of them possessed. He was their last and only hope. In him, they saw a strength that mirrored Tiamat's own fury, a storm to fight a hurricane. The pact was sealed. Marduk, the young upstart, the ambitious son of Ea, was now their chosen champion. He had leveraged their terror into a promise of ultimate power. Now he only had to win an impossible war. With the gods' blessing, Marduk prepared for the cosmic duel. He forged weapons worthy of facing Tiamat, goddess of chaos. He summoned storms and terrible winds, gathering their power. His greatest creation, a vast net to ensnare the dragon. Marduk mounted his storm chariot, armed and ready. The gods crowned him king, granting him power before the battle. He set his face toward the abyss, ready to decide the fate of the universe. The battle was over. The great mother of chaos, Tiamat, was dead. But from her destruction, Marduk saw the potential for creation. He split her body, raising one half to form the sky, the other to shape the earth. Her eyes became the rivers, her blood the seas, her ribs the vault of heaven. The world, according to this ancient myth, was born from the remains of a slain dragon, order built upon the bones of chaos. With the physical world now constructed from Tiamat's body, Marduk turned his attention to populating it. The gods had won the war, and their new king had established order. However, a problem remained. The maintenance of this new world, the tending of the earth, the digging of canals, the building of temples, was laborious work. The gods were divine beings, not laborers. They desired worshippers who would serve them, provide them with offerings, and free them from the toil of upkeep. They needed a new class of being, one created specifically for this purpose. The world was beautiful, but it was empty and demanding. Marduk conceived a plan. He would create a new, lesser creature from the blood of the one who had led the rebellion against him. He declared, "I will create man. He shall be charged with the service of the gods, that they might be at ease." He summoned the captive, Kingu, the champion Tiamat had chosen. Kingu, who had proudly worn the Tablet of Destinies and led the army of monsters, was now brought before the assembly of the gods. He was accused of inciting the war, of being the true architect of Tiamat's rebellion. He was found guilty, and his sentence was death. Ea, the god of wisdom, carried out the grim task. Kingu was slain, and his divine blood was collected. Ea then mixed this blood with the clay of the earth. From this potent, bloody mixture, the first human beings were formed. Humanity was therefore created from a dual nature, the humble clay of the earth and the divine, rebellious blood of a fallen god. This origin story defined humanity's purpose. They were created to be servants, their existence dedicated to relieving the gods of their earthly burdens. Their destiny was to work, to worship, and to remember the great cosmic war that led to their creation. This act completed Marduk's new order. The heavens and the earth were made from Tiamat. Humanity was made from the blood of her general. The entire cosmos was now a monument to Marduk's victory. The gods were at peace, their positions secure, and their needs tended to by their new mortal servants. But this creation story carries a tragic weight. Humanity was born from the blood of a traitor, forever bound to a life of toil as a consequence of a war that took place long before their time. They were the final product of Tiamat's destruction, a living legacy of her failed and tragic vengeance. The world was born from the body of a vanquished goddess, Tiamat. Was she a monstrous force of chaos, or a grieving mother betrayed by her children? The myth offers no simple answer, only ambiguity and power. Marduk, the hero, defeated her and created order, but at a cost: violence, ambition, and the servitude of humankind. The tale of Tiamat explores chaos and order, showing they are forever intertwined. Tiamat is the mother of gods, monsters, and the world itself. Her spirit of primordial chaos endures as a silent, potent reminder.